All right, so we're back, and now I have now that we have all the materials and our character model with all the faces already created for the head, we will start rigging the upper part of the body, and let's jump right to it. I'm gonna go to the I'm gonna jump into the front view, and with I press A to frame everything on screen, and I will go here to the skeleton joint tool, and I will start with the bone here at the torso. And oops, I see that the size of the bone is a bit big, so I'm going here on display, animation, joint size, and let's bring this thing down to maybe 0.25. Let's see, maybe less, 0.15. 0.15 is okay. Close it. I'm gonna press B again, and I'm gonna set this bone right in here, and then I'm gonna put the other one over here, and the other one, and another one here. Okay, and let's see how it looks like from the side. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna go here and I'm going to select this bone, and I'm gonna press insert, the insert key. So with the move option, I press insert, and I will bring down this to this part of closer to this area. I'm going to press V, bring it here. Around that, oops, around this area, right? Actually, let me go here and change, instead of object, I'm gonna press world on the tools, in the tools to, so my gizmo has world coordinates, and I'm gonna jump into my side view, and then this bone, I want this bone to be right at this vertex of the arm. So I'm gonna press insert, and with the B key, I'm gonna move it up to that part, up to this point. I press insert again, then I go down. I want to select this one. I want this bone to be exactly where the hand crosses over here. So in order to do that, I might need to, I'm gonna press the B key, bring it there, and maybe I will need some help from this view. Over there. And let's bring this guy over there exactly. Yep. And this bone over here, which is the last one, I would like to put it over this intersection again. So I'm gonna press B and then bring it over here, over that intersection. So it's basically two intersections, the one over here and the one over there. Okay, this one and this one. And then we're going to work out a little bit the rotations, the rotation axis of the bones. If I go and select this bone right now and press the rotation tool, see how my rotations are completely out of direction, the direction I want for them. This is, if the arm ends up rotating this way, it's going to be terrible because the mesh will clip inside other parts of it. So what I need to do is I want to rotate this bone without changing the rotation values, because these rotation values will be used later on to reset our settings, our skeleton and our mesh to its original bind position. So I don't want to move these rotations. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate the local rotation axis. And to do so, I'm going to press F8. With the bone selected, I press F8. And I'm going to go here on display, transform display, local rotation axis. And it's not enough. They're active, but I don't see them. So one thing I need to do is open over here this tab, so I get to this icon that is a question mark, and I'm gonna click over it. And now the rotation values appear there. As you can see, I need to select them, not the bone, but the rotation values, and I'm going to rotate them. I want the set to be pointing forward toward the screen because this is the front view. I'm in the front view. And I also want this axis to lie over the angle of the body, because I want the arm to rotate exactly over that angle. So I'm getting closer here, and as you can see, I'm fixing the way in which my bone will rotate without affecting the rotation values in here, because I'm only moving the pivot, so to speak, of the bone, and it's around, I would say it's around there. Instantly a tiny bit there, over there. All right. Oops. No, I barely see it. I don't see well, I see the X value over here. I'm going to change to this view, and on this view, I'm going to jump to the upper. This one right there. Now I will want this the rotation, the axis on the I'm going to press F8. I want the rotation of the x-axis to come down the bone, pointing towards the next bone over here. So what I'm going to do is, again, with the local rotation axis selected, I'm going to rotate it. So now the x-axis is pointing down along this bone and pointing towards the next one. Also, as you can see, there's a small rotation. You can guide yourselves by the rotation of the gizmo. I'm gonna make it bigger with the plus key on the keyboard. Plus and minus change the size of the gizmo. As you can see, I can still see here the rotation, the set rotation on the gizmo. So I'm going to make it a bit like this, so I don't see any circle in the rotation. It has to be a straight line that tells me that it's as planar as it can be to this view. All right. So it's like that, and it's pointing down while the Z axis is pointing forward. That's okay. So I'm gonna press F8. And I'm gonna go just make sure here in the front view that it doesn't change much. I still need to do some tweaking over here because it's more important to have it rotating, yeah, like this. So as you can see here, the rotation I'm gonna shape. See how the axis on the gizmo, this axis on the gizmo is parallel, lying over the side of the body. It has to be this way, because when I rotate the bone, I want to rotate along this diagonal of the body. I don't want the arm to be clipping inside the body, so I have to make sure that the bone orientation is the right one. Okay. And once I did that, I'm gonna press F4 here just to see where I am. Press F8, and I'm again back where the bone is. Okay. Now the next step will be I'm going to do something similar with this one, with this bone. This is the bone that will be controlling the hand, and I want the hand to be rotating Y over the Y-axis. As you can see right now, the Y-axis is pointing down, so that's not going to be useful because the hand will be rotating along the gray axis, and I don't want that. I want the X-axis, the Y-axis, sorry, to be to have a different angle so the hand rotates correctly. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to repeat the process. I'll probably jump into my side view. Just need to make sure that these bones are rotating the right way, so otherwise it will not I won't get the results I want. So I'm going to press F8 here, and I'm going to select my local rotation axis. Again, make sure that X is pointing down the hierarchy, something like that. And I'm going to rotate like this. Actually, here I need to match. As you can see, this circle of the bone has to match this circle of the shape of the hand. So I will try as much as possible to make it look like it's placed exactly over the hand. See this this border, this circular part of the wireframe, and the circular center or axis of the bone. They need to be parallel somehow from this view. I'm going to jump to the front view, and I'm going to try to replicate the same process and do it now for this part, always trying to keep the Y-axis, the X-axis pointing down. But now I'm going to bring the Z-axis down as well, and I'm also going to modify the Y-axis so I can get a nice rotation over the hand, like that. I'm gonna jump to my side view and just make sure that everything's working correctly. As you can see here, it's not quite the case because my X-axis is still a bit messed up here. It's not pointing down as I wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this thing over like this, and this like this, and just trying to get up, trying to lay the bone. Let me see if I can. Yes, this is a good view. I'm taking a deep dive inside the arm, and as you can see, this is the bottom of the hand, or the top of the hand as you want to see it. And what I want here is the bone to be lying, this circle of the bone, I want it to be lying exactly over the hand. So when the rotations come, when the time comes to rotate it, it will rotate accordingly. All right, so I'm making sure it seems that I'm close to it like that. All right, so now when this bone rotates, it's going to make the hand rotate correctly, and you can see it. You can see it already. If I rotate over the X-axis, it's going to rotate pretty nice around the hand. Okay, and don't worry about the last one. I'm gonna press F8 here, and don't worry about this last one. This last bone is just the end of the chain, and it won't be rotating anything. The two more important bones are this one and this one. So what I'm going to do here is, now I will proceed to do the skin. Well, before doing the skinning, I'm going to select this and I'm going to mirror the skeleton. So I'm gonna jump into skeleton, mirror joint, option box, and I'm going to mirror this guy over, as you can see, is the Y set axis. So it's this one. And oh, wait a second, before doing that, I'm gonna rename. I'm also going to rename this properly. So this bone, the first bone in the chain, this one will be let's say JT as joint underscore torso. All right. All right. Now, if I press down on the arrows, I get to the next bone, and this will be JT as in joint underscore, and this will be our left. So I'm going to type underscore L underscore arm, because this is the left arm. And then I press that, well, I press enter, then I press down the keys, and this will be JT as in joint underscore L underscore hand, because it's the left hand of the character. I'm gonna press enter, and then I'm going to go down the hierarchy to the last bone, and this will be joint underscore end, right? This is the end bone of the hand. All right. Now, if I go, I go to this bone, and I'm going to mirror it on the YZ axis, and I'm going to search for underscore L underscore for left, and I'm going to type replace with is underscore R underscore for right, and I'm going to hit mirror. Now I have my my bones mirrored on the other side, and as you can see, also the name has changed automatically, and it's just a matter of seeing if the rotations are kept, and as you can see, they're pretty much are. So the rotation axis I modified there correctly. This one laid out so over the torso, and this one rotating, making the hand rotating over itself, and that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to proceed and select this joint, select the arm, and I'm gonna go here to skin menu, and I'm going to choose a smooth bind because I want that part of the body to react to whenever I rotate the bone of the shoulder. So again, I review my options. They are as in the appendix tutorial. Max influence is 3, and the drop-off rate is 4 with everything reset to the default. And I'm going to type bind skin. Now, if I select this bone and rotate it, I can see that the bone is now making the hand rotate, although there are some issues with the formations around here and also around here, right? That's because the bone, this part of the mesh has some dependencies or some influences from these bones as well. Since I want this whole shape to be dependent on this bone alone, I'm going to go here into the my paint skin weights tool, open the option box. I'm going to select the left arm, which is the bone I want. And then I'm going to say, change the opacity to 1. And then I'm going to flood this this part of the, if I go here, first I need to jump to my select tool and select the arm, right? Then again, if you don't have here the paint skin weights tool, you can go again to skin, paint skin weights tool, option box, And see how it's white for the most part, but still it has gray areas here, which means that these areas are not completely dependent on the rotation of this bone. But that's not what I want. I wanted to have full. I want to have full control over it. So just let me take this bone, and I notice that it's not rotated to 0. I have to bring it back to 0, and this is why it's important to change our local rotation axis. So I can just type 0 here and go back into the position I wanted it. Now I'm going to select again the arm. I select here my paint skin weights tool, and I'm gonna go to the paint option, select the JTL left arm here, and I'm gonna flood it. Now it's completely white, which means that if I just go back to selection tool and select this bone, and now I rotate it, notice how it's not deforming anymore. It is now working as expected. All right. I'm gonna bring this bad boy back to 0. And now the next thing I want to do is I want to select this hand, the hand, and this bone over here, which is the left hand bone. And with both selected, I'm going to jump into skin, smooth bind, and I don't need to go into option box since pretty much we'll keep the same options. So I just click smooth bind, and I'm going to select this joint and rotate it over the x-axis. And I see that it's following the rotation nicely. However, I have some deformations over here, and it's just because the same thing is happening as before. So I'm going to type 0 over here to bring back my rotations to 0. And then I'm going to select the mesh of the hand, and jump again into skin, paint skin weights tool, option box. All right, and see how it's if I select the hand, it's not completely white, it's kind of grayish. That means that there's some influence from this bone, the end of the chain, and also the shoulder. I don't want that. I want all the influence to be coming from the wrist or the hand. So again, I go into paint mode, replace the opacity 1, the value to 1. I'm going to type flood, and now it's all white. If I go back into my select tool and select this bone, when I rotate it over the x-axis, notice how the hand is now reacting correctly. Oops, the way it's supposed to rotate. Okay, I'm only rotating the x-axis here. So I type 0, 360, and see if there are no change. There's no change in from 360 to 0. It means that the rotation is over the axis is correct. All right. And if I type here 180, notice how the fingers change position. I'm going to go back into 0, and that's it. So the only thing that remains here is to follow the same process from this arm onto the other one. This should be a little bit faster than before. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rotate to this side, select the arm, shift, select the bone, and go to skin, smooth bind. Now I select the arm, skin, paint skin weights tool, option box, select the arm again, and see how it's not totally white. Again, paint, replace, 1, 1, and flood. All right, go back to selection tool, select this bone, and just rotate again, just to make sure that everything's working fine. I'm rotating it just to make sure that everything's working fine, and it is. I'm going to type 0 right here. And then the next step is select the hand, the right hand bone, and with both selected, again, skin, smooth bind, Then I select the mesh of the hand, skin, paint skin weight tool, option box, select the hand bone. Remember, that's very important. Select the corresponding bone that I want to weight. Paint, replace, opacity 1, value 1, and then flood. All right. Then I go back into my selection tool and select the bone and rotate it just to make sure, just to make sure that everything's working correctly. 360, and it didn't change. 180, and it changed the side of the fingers over here, so that's perfect. I'm going to type 0 here, and just finished skinning the arms of the character. On the next lesson, I'll be working a similar process for the legs. Oh wait, actually, before doing so, I think we. Oh yes, I'm gonna make a third part just when we're going to skin the head. And you know what? Actually, I'm gonna make it right now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to jump to the front view. All right, and I'm going back into my skeleton tool and select the joint tool again. And this time I'm going to press V key as in Victor. I'm going to press the V key and click over here at the center. And that will be the bone that will be, I press enter, and that will be the bone that will be controlling the rotations of the head. I just need to make sure, you see it's not centered here. So I want to go here and just make sure that it's right there. Now that it's centered, see what I'm going to do. With that bone selected, I'm going to call this GT as in joint underscore head. And with that bone selector, I'm going to press Shift, and I'm going to select this bone over here, and I'm just going to press P as for parent. And now this bone is connected to this part of the mesh. And I think the bone shouldn't be there. I think the bone should be more around like here in the neck. So I'm going to move it down with press the B key, remember, and just from the y-axis I'm going to bring it down, 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 up to, I'm going to make a closer look over here. I'm just going to bring it over here, right there. All right, right there. So it's not, you see, it's around this area, around this height of the head. It's not completely touching the torso, but right over to the next loop, the next edge loop. I'm putting it there. And just making sure that it's also lying over here, center, it's all centered, it's all good. That's perfect. So the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over here, select the head, Shift, select the bone, and then go to skin, smooth bind, and again, skin, paint skin weights tool, option box. And this time I'm going to select the head. Just let me see where it is. I'm going to select the head and skin, paint skin weights tool, and here it is. Here's the head. I'm selecting this one, the head bone, and see how it's gray. So that means it has some influence from other bones. I don't want influence from other bones. I want total influence from this bone. So again, I go into paint, replace, opacity 1, value 1, and then I'm going to flood it. So now it's all white. And if I select this bone over here and I rotate it over Y, see how the head is reacting accordingly. So if I say 180, it goes to the other side. 90 minus 90, 0. That's it, it's working. All right. And with that, I'm finishing this part of the tutorial. On the next tutorial, we'll just explore the last part of the rig, which are the legs. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Don't forget to save your scene. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to File, Save the scene, and see you next one.